Yesterday we discussed this paccaya sammoha, delusion about cause or causes. There can be a number of causes. Delusion about the causes of mind-body. That mind-body are causeless. If one is not paying attention at the moment of their arising, then one will not see the conditionality of this mind-body. So that one becomes deluded, confused about the existence of cause. With all sorts of doubts and uncertainties, one can be led to distorted view, distorted perception, distorted consciousness. That is due to the delusion or confusion, moha, about the existence of causes of this mind-body. Excuse me. And what kind of distorted perception, distorted consciousness? Holding that mind-body are causeless. This was explained as ahetuka ditthi, the view of causelessness, that there are no causes. They occur by chance, or something like that. Not only that, with some sort of investigation, one accepts this moral causation, but not clear about the relevancy of this conditionality, by which one can be led to another doubt. So things are created by Brahma, all-powerful Brahma, or King of Devas, or some transcendent, autonomous, omnipotent being. And this kind of view is known as fictitious cause view, called Visama Hetuka Ditthi. Then, this conditionality of mind and body can be realized when one pays attention at the moment of, say, bending or stretching. Because of the bending, because of the intention to bend, there arises this bending process. Because of the stretching, intention to stretch, there occurs this stretching process. Excuse me. Because of the eye and the visible object, or eye sensitivity and the visible object, there arises the seeing consciousness. So this is the relevancy of cause and effect. They are relevant. Because of the eye and the visible object, there arises seeing consciousness, not hearing consciousness or other consciousness. So this is relevancy of conditionality. Now, to cite examples, how mentality causes mentality, nama causes nama. Now, even if there are objects around you which can be seen, heard, tasted, or smelled, and so on, if you don't avert your attention, in technical terms it's known as manasikara, mental advertence. If you don't pay attention, you will not see, even if there is a visible object and your eye sensitivity. You will not hear, even if you possess hearing sensitivity, ear sensitivity and the sound. Because your mind is not adverted, your mind is not given, you're not paying attention to these objects of seeing, hearing and so on. Even if there is some visible object to be seen, because of the absence of this mental advertence, manasikara, you may not see, and so on. This is how nama causes nama, mentality causes mentality. Now while because of the noting mind, because of the noted object, because of the presence of the object to be noted, there is this noting mind. This is how rupa causes nama. While you are noting this rising and falling of the abdomen, sometimes falling is not noticeable. You can only note rising, so there will be no noting mind about falling. You will not be noting falling, so there will be no noting mind about falling. There will be only noting mind about rising. So because of the absence of this materiality or rupa, there doesn't arise any mentality, nama, in this case the noting mind. And sometimes the rising also becomes very indistinct and not so obvious to note, so you cannot note this rising. And so because of the absence of rising of the abdomen, there is no noting mind about the rising. So no rising, no noting mind. So because of this absence of materiality, there is no relevant mentality. So when they arise, then there is this noting mind. When they don't arise, there does not arise any noting mind, relevant noting mind. Only there arises the objects. There will be the noting mind of these objects. This is how rupa causes nama, materiality causes mentality. Now another case about this materiality causes materiality, rupa causing rupa. For instance, right now in the cool season, you feel cool in the morning and late at night. So there's some change in your body. You feel cool because of the cool weather affecting you. Because of the dryness of the weather, your skin becomes dry, your lips become dry. So this is how rupa causes rupa. How weather, the rupa in terms of weather or season, causes this change in your body materiality. And it becomes warm or hot in the daytime, and you sweat. This also is the case of rupa causing rupa, seasonal conditions, weather conditions causing change in your body by sweating. Excuse me. That's because of the external weather conditions. Your body changes. There's a change in the materiality. Rupa causing rupa. So if you pay attention, you are bound to see this conditionality. And another example is you feel hungry or thirsty and you feel weak because of your thirst and hunger. But when you take food or drinks, then you feel fresh and strengthened. This is a case of how ahara, nutrition, causes a change in your body. This is materiality. This is also rupa causing rupa, materiality causing materiality. Now, and then also because of the contact, the hardness or the softness of the contact, you have hardness feeling or softness feeling. This is also another example. And not knowing the cause of mind and body, this view of causelessness, and not knowing the relevancy of causes, also another doubt. So unless you pay attention, you will not be aware of these causes and effects, and you will be deluded. This is known as paccaya sammoha. Deluded and confused about the causes of mind and body. And if in 1 minute, again our classical calculation, at the rate of one layer of delusion, sammoha per second. So in 1 minute, there will be this 60 layers of delusion, sammoha. And in 5 minutes and 1 hour, how thick you can calculate if you have a computer. This kind of layer will become very thick and thicker than in this very life, if you just calculate, if you can calculate with your computer, bigger than the Great Wall of China. So you can just imagine how thick it will be and how stupid and how dark that you are in. This is avijja. Not only ordinary darkness, ordinary avijja, but even if you know in a wrong way, distorted views. So this is a result of delusion, confusion about the cause and the relevancy of the causes. Doubts arise leading to distorted view, distorted perception, consciousness. And this is a view of causelessness, and because of the delusion, confusion about the relevancy of causes, then you have this fictitious cause view. So sometimes you accept these causes, the moral causation, you accept moral causation, but you boil down everything to destiny, karma, your past destiny, your past karma. Everything is due to this past karma. That may be another distorted view. This kind of view is known as Upekata Hetuka Ditthi. So that was what we explained yesterday, and we are repeating it just to understand better. At this point, I want to mention this cataract, eye disease called cataract. When one is contracted with cataract, one may not see at all if the cataract is very thick and very old, and or if one sees, one may see in the wrong way, not seeing clearly, uncertain about what one sees. So unless we can operate this cataract or do something to remove this cataract, if it's an early stage, we will not see things at all, or even if we see, we will see in a wrong way, a distorted way. So when we go to the eye surgeon and get checked, and when the time is ripe for the cataract to be operated, the surgeon will operate, so that although the patient may be old, he or she can become young as regards the eye. The eyesight becomes young and clear and fresh. So too with the practice. Throughout our lifetimes, we have been deluded, confused about this existence of the mind-body and their conditionality, so that doubts have been arising in our mind, leading to various uncertainties, uncertain distorted views, distorted perception, distorted consciousness, thick with cataract, spiritual cataract. Now as for the Buddha, he preaches to know the truth. He preaches about the mind-body, nama-rupa, and he gives this path, wrong, right path, wrong path, kusala, what is kusala, what is akusala. And then he preached the cause and effect and the impermanence of these psychophysical phenomena, and to be aware in various stages of insight. Those who follow this path, called jnana path, become free of these impurities, like being cured of cataract. Their eyesight, their view, their spiritual sight or their vision becomes clear, beginning with the comprehension of mind, body, and their cause and effect, because they follow this path, the jnana path, as given by the Buddha. So as for us, we practice in accordance with his guidance, but of course we did not attain like himself. We attain, we realize, we walk the path and are able to awaken to knowledge in our own right by being free from this spiritual cataract. And because of this freedom of cataract, our eyesight becomes pure, strong, fresh and proper, leading to the knowledge of the cause and effect and their characteristics, beginning with the arising and passing away of these objects through the stages of insight knowledge until we reach the cessation or extinction of mind and body. Of course, mind and body, the psychophysical phenomena, have been flowing all along our lifetimes, and we could not believe that such a thing will come to a stop at one stage, and with the majority of insight knowledge. But it did. We reach the extinction of mind and body. Then we see things clearly. We attain or realize this spiritual vision, like the operation of the cataract. When the cataract is fully operated by the eye surgeon, then although the person may be old in age, his or her eyesight will become very young and fresh. So we are like the patients who are being operated by the eye surgeon to be free from, to be clear of, or to be treated of cataract. So also there have been disciples and faithful followers of the Buddha who has practiced and been able to become awakened to knowledge through at different stages of insight knowledge. There have been many such people. Hence, the Buddha has been given this epithet of praised as an eye surgeon. In Pali it is known as Salakya, eye surgeon, who was operated, make a spiritual operation of his disciples so that they are free from this samoha cataract. Because their samoha cataract has been removed from them, they are able to see clearly, with clear vision, with clear knowledge. So the people, the patients who are cured of this cataract are the Buddha's disciples, faithful followers. And in the text has been given in this way, that the Buddha has been praised as Salakya, eye surgeon. As for us, we follow the jnana path to see the mind and body, and being awakened to knowledge, we are free from this moha, delusion, cataract delusion, and see the truth with the path of jnana. And the Buddha has given, we are able to possess this clear vision. Now let us think about or discuss how nama causes rupa, mentality causes materiality. Let us say the hand is bent and we want to stretch this bent hand, and first of all there is an intention to stretch this hand. Because of the stages of intention also arise in stages, in minute details, stages of intentions successively, followed by this steady stretching process, some sort of feeling, sensation like rigidity, stiffness and so on at the moment of stretching. Now if there is no intention, there will be no stretching. Because of the intention to stretch, there arises the stretching process. So the nearest cause for the stretching of the hand is the intention to stretch. That is the nearest cause. And the relevant effect is the stretching process, which is the materiality, and the intention is the mentality nama. So this is the cause and effect process. Here, the intention, Dhamma, which is the cause, is known as Sankhara, Dhamma or Sankhara, and the materiality, that is the actual stretching process, which arises in stages of rigidity, stiffness and all that, which make up the materiality, also is Sankhara, conditioned phenomena or conditioned things. They arise due to causes. That's why they are called conditioned things, conditioned phenomena, or just mind and body. Now, this stages of stretching process, materiality, is the result of the intention to stretch. Like the case of the fan that is rotating above you, because you turn the switch on, electricity flows and it works this motor of the fan and revolves, rotates the fan. So because of this flow of electricity, because of the switch, you turn on the switch, there's a movement. These things are inanimate objects. Because of this power of electricity, and also this is a metaphor for this stretching process. At the moment of stretching, that is this intention. This mind, which is the intention, is like the switch. Once you put on the switch, turn on the switch, that means just turn on the intention, or form this intention. There, this intention causes the gradual movement of the hand, the stretch, in this case the stretching of the hand. Now, why does the fan rotate? The fan rotates because of the electricity. So also because of the intention, the mind has a switch. Because you put it on, there's this stretching process, materiality. So just as electricity is the cause, here the mentality is the cause, and the stretching materiality is the effect. Now this effect, materiality, is sankhara, conditioned phenomena or conditioned thing. It is conditioned because it is caused by this mentality, nama, namely intention. And intention also, this mind also has causes or cause. For instance, the cause lies in maybe many reasons, like you have been bending your hand for a long time, you feel discomfort, and you want to stretch, you feel tired of bending the hand, or you want to use your hand to reach something, or some sort of reason. So due to some sort of reason, due to some sort of cause, this intention happens. Therefore this intention also is the result of cause, therefore it is also sankhara, a conditioned phenomenon. So this mind-body is the result of this cause-effect linkage, like the current and the fan. They are conditioned phenomena. So if you are mindful at the moment of this stretching, being aware of this intention, which are the causes and stages, there arises the result, a consequence, the materiality in terms of stretching of the hand. This kind of awareness or knowledge or right understanding is known as Paccaya Bhavotthana Sammaditthi. Paccaya, cause or conditionality, and Bhavotthana, distinctly seeing clearly or seeing in a distinctive manner, seeing in a discriminative manner. This is experienced by yourself. Whether it's right or wrong, this is your own empirical knowledge. This is your Sammaditthi, right view. as a result of your personal experience. So because of your mindfulness, your attention at the moment of this stretching process, you are aware of this cause and effect linkage, the process which is your experiential knowledge. So you become satisfied with this phenomena, mind, body, which are conditioned, they are sankharas, and this is the cause, and this is the relevant effect. So seeing in a clear way in this manner, being able to see clearly, distinctively, is Paccaya Vavutthana Sammaditthi. One understands these two things only at the moment of stretching the hand. There is the intention to stretch, followed by the actual stretching process. And there are these two things only, the cause and the effect, and nothing else. And this is known through your own experience, not from hearsay, not from what the teachers say or from the books. It is only as a result of your practice of mindfulness, sinking into the moment and connecting deeply with whatever is present. In this case, the stretching process. And as you are able to target precisely, there will be no wrongful thoughts, immoral thoughts. Any one of these immoral thoughts, such as thoughts of sensuality, thoughts of ill will, and thoughts of harming others. Because you're aiming properly and not overshooting or not superficial, all these thoughts will not arise. And if you're not applying energy at the same time, at the moment of this stretching process, and if you are slack and lax, then with the sluggishness, not being able to exert energy, and even if you exert energy, you become exhausted very soon, then the impurities will fall on you. Now with the exertion of energy, these impurities, especially this sloth and torpor, sluggishness, will not be accepted. By not being accepted, they are said to be removed. One becomes free, one is said to have overcome these impurities. So with the application of these mental powers, you become aware of this cause and effect process. In this case, how mentality causes the materiality, how the intention of stretching causes the actual stretching process. Of course, when at the moment of mindfulness you be aware of not two things at the same time, sometimes the cause of this mentality as a cause, that is the intention, and other times the actual stretching process. So once one comes to become aware of this cause and effect process, one will be free from these impurities with the power of mindfulness, sati, because mindfulness, the mind is protected by mindfulness. That is the quality of mindfulness, so that the mind will be free of impurities. Thus, stilling the mind falls calm and collected on an object. It becomes clear and still and calm and collected. So with these mental powers, you are removing impurities, ridding yourself, warding off the impurities, so you are free from impurities. The mind becomes very clear, very pure. And that is the result of this walking, the practice of the jnana path, the path of jnana. In this case, the mindfulness of process of cause and effect. So as much as you are able to do that, your mind will become very clear, your vision will become clarified, and you become very clear about this cause and effect process, that this is the cause and this is the effect. And because of this cause, this is the relevant effect, not the irrelevant effect. So this is Paccaya Vavutthana Sammaditthi. This is a kind of light a kind of light, an element of light, or an element of light overcoming darkness. Vichaya Vavatana Sammaditthi, wrong, the right view or right understanding. So you become very clear. When you're not clear, when you're deluded, when you're confused, all sorts of doubts arise. Now you are very clear, your vision becomes clarified, so that all doubts are overcome. So you become clear about this materiality arising as a result of this mentality, namely the intention. So you are free from this view of causelessness, ahetuka deity. But when you see this cause, relevant cause and relevant effect, the linkage of this relevancy of cause and effect, you come to understand that there's nothing else, no external power or force, omnipotent force, giving commands to stretch your hand. There's no such thing as powerful Brahma or king of devas who is giving the command. It is the intention which is causing this materiality, the stretching. So in this way, you are aware of the relevancy of cause and effect. In this way, you are free from this visama hetuka deity, fictitious cause view. Your view becomes rectified. So, and also this seeing this cause and effect, you are not boiling down everything to destiny, karma, the past destiny, the past actions, so that you are free from another wrong view, namely Pubhikata Hetuka Deity. So that in this way, by being mindful of this band stretching process, seeing the cause and effect, you become clear and being able to understand correctly, reaching this Sammaditthi, another kind of lightness. When lightness comes, darkness goes. When clarity, knowledge arises, doubts will disappear. Such Sammaditthi, right view or right understanding, is very important. At this point, one learns the lesson by being satisfied that with the practice of Satipatthana, paying attention with full force, one becomes aware of this causal mode. By walking the jnana path, one becomes free of impurities, become aware of this cause and effect, and this kind of accomplishment or knowledge is known as Pecchaka Siddha, accomplishment or direct accomplishment, or accomplishing with direct experience, or Pecchaka Jnana, direct knowledge, empirical knowledge. And also, as much as this thing happens in the present time, while you are noting, such a thing must have happened many times in the past, whenever one stretched one's hand as a result of the intention, which is the cause, mentality, there is bound to arise this actual stretching process, materiality, as effect, as a consequence. And this kind of deduction is known as inferential knowledge or accomplishment with inference, Anumana Siddha or Anumana Jnana. So, and also, as much as this thing happens at the present time, in future also, whenever one stretches one's hand with the intention, as a result of the intention, there's bound to be this cause and effect. The intention, as a result of intention, the result in the form of this stretching. This also, this kind of knowledge, this kind of consideration also is known as Anumana Siddha, inferential accomplishment with inference, or Anumana Jnana, inferential awareness or knowledge. And also, as much as it happens to one or to the yogi, it will happen to others. As much as this stretching process of the hand arises as an intention, as a result of an intention to stretch, it will also happen in others as well, in the whole world. Whoever stretches his or her hand. This also is Anumana Siddha, inferential knowledge, through deduction. And all this inferential knowledge happens as a result, based on the empirical experience, Pishaka Siddha. Without Pishaka Siddha, one will not be able to draw inference in this way. So, as much as this thing is true at the present, it will be true, it would have been true in the past, and it will be true in the future. As much as it is true in oneself, it will also be the same in others. So this is, in this way one becomes awakened to a kind of awareness, knowledge, and by being able to develop this, enhance this, one is said to be practicing this bhavana, mind development. This much is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many other instances still yet to be known, but it's impossible to know. By just being able to clarify the mind free of the impurities within your own reach, within your own right, you come to know, you open up your spiritual vision, but there are many other things which are beyond the reach of your power, of knowledge, or beyond your reach. As for the Buddha, he knows these things. Now we know the cause and effect as much as we can do, as much as we can note, we can understand, but there are many things beyond the reach of our knowledge. But there are although one cannot discover, one cannot gain such knowledge because they are beyond the knowledge, we can believe it through faith. Now, with faith, the Buddha having faith in the Buddha who has preached the Dhamma, knowing the Dhamma by himself, we can have faith, we can understand, accomplish this by mere faith. At this stage, it is not possible to reason out and to use your knowledge. There's no consideration of your knowledge at this stage. We can only understand, you can only accept through faith, not through your own knowledge, because these things are beyond your knowledge, beyond the reach of your knowledge. With meager knowledge that one possesses, one cannot understand things through knowledge. So we cannot use knowledge at this point. We can only accomplish these things with faith. So, for instance, when a disciple and a teacher, there are things that a student knows, and there are many other things the teacher knows. So the student cannot understand what the teacher understands. It is beyond the reach of the student's knowledge. Same thing goes with the Buddha's omniscient knowledge. One cannot measure our meager knowledge with the omniscient knowledge of the enlightened one. So, as much as there are these possibilities of truth through faith, though we cannot experience them as the experiential or direct knowledge or inferential knowledge, you can only believe that such things exist, such things happen through faith in the Buddha. So such an accomplishment, such a knowledge is known as Anapana Siddha, accomplishment through faith, or Saddhya Siddha, again accomplishment by faith. or knowledge with faith. Of course, one can deny the truth of the matter by not even being able to prove it by oneself in a scientific way. But of course one must give ample reason, sufficient reason to show cause. Otherwise it amounts to one-sided view. So now with the experiential knowledge one understands the cause and effect, and that is the experiential knowledge, and there are things beyond the reach of your knowledge which you can only believe through faith. That is Sadhya Siddha or Akapana Siddha. So much about how Rupa, materiality, arises as a result of mentality Nama, and one can experience by oneself through practice. Now about how mentality causes mentality, Dhamma causes Nama. First of all, the theoretical aspect. There are two things involved in this. That is one, mental advertence, that is paying attention, mental attention, and the other one is the attractive power of the object, the strength of the power to pull you away. So in the text is given this for instance, at a show, stage show or a festival, there are these spectators, audience, watching the stage show, and at the same time there are other things besides the sights and sounds. There are smell, there may be some smell, good smell, fragrant smell, and then the delicious food being served and so on, and sitting on a very comfortable seat, a cushion or sofa. So you have all comfortable things, good things to experience all at the same time. Now, while there are many objects, sensual objects in this case, when the experience of this object depends on these two things, attention, mental advertence, or the power of the attractive power of the object, whether the object is interesting to you. So when your attention is directed towards the scene or sight, and because of the power of this scene, attractive power of the scene, there will arise the seeing consciousness. You'll be enjoying the scene, and not hear sound, not notice the smell or the taste of the food and so on. And because the sight or the scene has a strong pulling power, so that the mind is attracted towards that. At other times the sound, the sound of the music may be more prominent, more attractive to you, and then your mind is, you're paying attention towards that, your mind is pulled towards that, then you hear the sound, there will be more hearing consciousness than other things. Same thing with other objects. So in this way, this depending on this mental advertence, seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, and other sense consciousness will arise, also depending on the attraction of the object. So this is the theoretical aspect. From the practical point of view, in your practice, when you are paying attention to the main object of rising and falling, at the time as much as you are paying attention to these main objects, then you will be noting and knowing this rising and falling and no other objects. You will not be aware of other surrounding things like sound or smell or taste or touch or whatever, because your mind is paying attention, you're paying attention on the object, in this case rising and falling. But when a sound arises just close to you by another yogi or whatever, then your attention is drawn towards the sound and you will be hearing that sound and not being noting this rising and falling. So because the sound is more attractive, the sound is more obvious, and you are paying attention to that. So this is how nama causes rupa. Nama causes nama. Because of the mental advertence, that is the seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, and so on. This mental advertence of paying attention or noting is the mentality, and then knowing or seeing or noting these mentality also. This is how nama causes nama. So in this way, because of the attraction, because of your attention towards other sensations, for instance, you have sensations in your body like itchy feeling, pain, and so on. Your attention is drawn towards that pain which is obvious, then your mind will not be with the rising and falling, because your itchy feeling, your pain is more obvious, and your attention is drawn towards that, so you'll be noting that and not noting rising and falling. In this way, ever new objects arise as they are prominent, as they are obvious, and your attention is drawn towards that, you will be noting and knowing that. And if you are paying attention on the primary object, then you will be knowing only the primary object and not other objects. In this way, this is the example in practice of how nama causes nama. The causing nama in this case is the paying attention, mental advertence, and the affect nama is the seeing consciousness, noting consciousness, hearing consciousness, and so on. There are much to talk about this example of how nama causes nama. And at this stage, as the saying goes, guard the mind all the time with mindfulness, sinking into the moment and deeply connecting with whatever arises presently, so that you become free of impurities. Then the mind will become clear and pure, which will conduce to the awakening of knowledge. At this stage, there is no room for thoughts or conceptualization, only to note with full force. And this mindfulness is the cause for the awakening of knowledge. And so when we're walking the knowledge, the jnana path, there's no room for these thoughts or imaginations, only to practice as directed, and urges you to be able to do just one thing. Your own responsibility is to be present with whatever arises. That's all for today. That's all for today. That's all for today.